Hi, my name is Audrey, and I'm the host of the Longevity Biohacking Podcast. And I'm a biotech executive, biohacker, and naturopath, and just absolute anti-aging enthusiast. And I have my girlfriend Ashley here.
Hi.
So today we are going to talk about DNA exchange and dating and what the implications are as you're out in the dating world. So I'm writing a book actually about vaccine detoxification, and I have been just in biotech in general. I've had an understanding about this mRNA technology that has been put into so many people's bodies. But in that, I have actually learned about mini chimerism.
Tell me more. What is that?
Okay, so whenever you make out with anyone or if you have intercourse with a partner,
I thought you were just talking about intercourse. I didn't realize making out either. Oh boy, I'm in trouble.
I know, right? So there is actually a DNA exchange that goes on. And what happens is that the DNA, whenever you're kissing or having intercourse, you will actually transcribe on one another. So think of your body like a divine computer, if you will. And whenever you have sex, it's like a flash drive that encoded information is being downloaded onto.
Wow.
Yes.
That's kind of scary.
It actually is. It actually is. So if you are dating someone who is unhealthy, who eats a lot of processed foods, or and worse yet is the the spike protein in the vaccine, and especially if they have had multiple rounds of the vaccine or from different manufacturers, there are different codes and sets of instructions that are getting downloaded into your body.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sounds intense.
It is. It's really intense. And so these are the things that we need to be cognitive of in a day and age where promiscuity is perpetuated by our culture, because it's, encouraged for people to, date multiple partners at a time and just like be really casual. Yeah, and another thing with that is that, so the people who have had the vaccine and, so there's like shedding that happens that even you get on an airplane, for instance. And so whenever you have multiple partners that have had that vaccine, you can think of it like doing, the way that it does damage is that it will essentially encode itself, and it'll, if you think of the spiral DNA helix, it will bind on to that. Okay. And it can throw off epigenetic biomarkers. And so it can turn on genes for clotting or heart attack or cancer. And now we have this major issue with turbo cancers.
So you're telling me I can get cancer from the men I'm having sex with?
So that sounded very, very dramatic, but there are long-term genetic implications whenever you are absorbing someone else's DNA. Okay. So the moral of this story is be very careful on who you allow in your proximity.
I see that, yeah. So it sounds like the selection just got even smaller.
Yeah, pretty much. It, at least, those who know about it should start taking that into consideration and being a little bit more careful.
So you really want to be selective on who you're choosing to make out with, have sex with, based off of what aligns with your similar values and your health and wellness.
Yes, absolutely, because those DNA fragments that get encoded on you, eventually it can potentially affect your thought patterns and your gene expression.
So is this just like one time? So you have a partner, one time you make out, one time you have intercourse, and they're expressing their genes on you, or is it after like repeated times
So
with the same
it can happen just from the first interaction, but it's not as severe.
Okay.
But like, take for instance, if you've ever seen couples that after they've been together 5, 10, 15, or 20 years, that when they're talking the same or having the same mannerisms, we had originally thought that that was psychological mirroring.
Mm-hmm.
But in fact, it's not just a psychological mirroring, it's because of their gene expressions. And
Wow.
some couples will even start to look like each other a little bit. And that is over time.
Mm-hmm.
But from my understanding, if it's just like a make out with someone, that it's not as bad.
Okay. So we're safe a little bit.
There's some grace period, but just keep on detoxing as much as you can.
Yeah. So what are some of the things that you recommend to do to detox then?
One of the key foundations in detoxing for me is doing heavy rounds of celery juicing and cleansing out your liver. Celery juice has these special mineral cluster salts that will help. It's almost like a soap for your liver.
Okay.
And it can help to scrub viruses, bacteria, fungi, pathogens, candida, spike proteins, and a multitude of other components. So that's foundational. Definitely heavy metal detoxes and IV nutrition.
Okay.
That's helpful. Ionic foot detoxing.
Interesting. Tell me more about that.
So the ionic foot detoxes, it's just a little bath with a coil that you put your feet in, and there's salt water or sea salt that you put in there, and it will negatively charge the ions. And your pores in your feet are the largest pores in your body.
Okay.
And so that will essentially reverberate up through the pores in your feet, and it helps you to flush out and release some of those particles that your liver is not able to do on its own.
Very interesting. So what you're saying is if I make a bad decision one night and have intercourse with somebody I regret, the next morning all I need to do is celery juice, basically bathe in celery juice. IV, nutrient IV, and the ionic, is that what it was called?
Yes, the ionic.
Okay.
And one of the other things that you can do are take detox baths.
Okay.
And so you get a scalding water and put in a lot of Epsom salt and sea salt and bentonite clay, as well as apple cider vinegar and baking soda. There's a chemical reaction that happens, and it will make the water fizz and bubble, and that will help to pull it out of your system as well. I've seen actually particulates float out of my skin.
So do you have a sex detox kit?
Not yet. Working on it.
That might be something huge. Might be onto something there.
I mean, it could be. It could be. There is a spike protein detox that people can do as well. And I'm actually writing a book for that. So there's an ebook that'll be dropping soon that you'll be able to download. And I'll get you the key foundations of that for free. But certainly spike protein detoxing and viral saturation.
Okay. Good to know.
Yes. Okay.